Bonfire Premier Cup Series. This is your admin, Kevin Kyle, and I am proud to introduce to you your Season 12 primary sponsor, Animal House Customs. Get your favorite iRacing League logo or anything you can dream of on any hat or patch. Animal House Customs has a stitch for every itch. And in order to scratch that itch, visit animalhousecustoms.com or you can call Animal House Customs at 985-222-8065. Once again, that's 985-222-8065.
Now,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bonfire Race League. My name is Zach Panzarella. I got my tag team partner, Mean Gene Money, here with me, and we are at Kansas Motor Speedway, a place that I think with Super Bowl Sunday in a couple hours that we're going to be seeing a lot of today. But we are all about racing. Fast racing at one of the most intense racetracks that we visit in this season. This one is not like last week at Sonoma, where it was all twists and turns and precision. Today is all about high speeds, high banks, and split-second decisions. I'm excited about this one. How are you feeling today, me and Gene?
I tell you what, we are live at Kansas Speedway, 1.5 tri-oval asphalt, 17 to 20 degree banking. This thing's going to be fast, and you're right, it's not like Sonoma. That was a completely different monster, and hopefully today in Kansas, these guys will be able to shake it off, shake it off.
Oh, God. So we made it, what, less than 60 seconds without our first T-Swift reference. But hey, it will not be the last. I'll be honest with you guys about that one. But yes, me and Gene, this one is totally different than last week. We have a whole different set of skills these drivers are going to have to be using. And with that, I think we may see some different characters up front. We saw the road course ringers shine through last week with Jason Landry with just a dominant, brilliant performance. But not far off of him was Jared Kelly. Both of them right now put down some good practice laps, so they're already looking quick. Who do you have your eye on today, me and Gene?
Well, you're right. Last week, we just watched Landry and Kelly dominate. But, you know, David Medina, he finished third last week, and we view that guy as one of our top left drive turners as well. If I'm looking at today, though, like, what do I think is going to happen today? I kind of want to cheat and look back in time and see what happened last year. And if we do that, I think we're going to lean toward that.
Number 11 of David Owens, yes. He is the one who got the win last year. There he is. Owens had a great run here at Kansas last year. Definitely a smaller field, Mean Gene, but Owens nonetheless had a great car. He led 30-plus laps and got the win at the end. David Medina, who you just talked about, who's been just the final boss of the BRL, did snatch the pole, or grab the pole last year, but the race did not go his way. He ended up 4 laps down around about 14th, 15th place. So David Medina definitely with speed here, but looking for better luck today.
Yeah, last year, also, you saw Mills. He led the most laps, and he also wasn't in that podium position. So Kansas is a place, you know, folks like to run high, some like to run low, and with those multiple lanes and just changing speeds of cars, tires getting older, your circumstances can change quite quickly. I think that's what we saw last year, and we might see a little bit more of that today. Last year, 17 cars started. This year, 31 cars. So I think seeing almost double the amount of cars, who knows what's going to happen. Last year, 11 of those 17 finished on the lead lap. So if you were to push those odds over, what do you think? That's about 17 on the lead lap this year. So that's a lot of possible cautions and distractions.
Yeah, and it's all going to depend on the vibe of the race and how much mayhem we have. This track is, like I said, very fast, but also very close in the first about 10 laps. It almost kind of simulates super speedway racing with how important the draft is and how close the cars are together. So one mistake up front can quickly collect a double-digit amount of cars. So you've got to have your head on a swivel here. Things can happen really quick, and your race can be over before you know it. So a lot of times at Kansas, it is kind of an attrition race, me and Gene. You've got to keep this thing clean and be there at the end to give yourself a chance to win this race.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's going to be some new guys here today we haven't seen before. We're going to add the 601 of Michael Serra. He's coming in as a first-time driver. And the 603 of Dalton Waterman. So those are going to be a couple of guys let's keep an eye on. Also, Old Face returning to the mix, the 85 of Jeff Pfeiffer. That's going to be his first race of the year. But, you know, he'll be running the 85 because he's a veteran. And one last guy I want to mention, how about Jose Medina? He's running the 403 but he's going to get rid of that 3-digit number at the end of this race.
Yeah, Medina in his last triple-digit number race. You only have to do 3 of those, then you get your permanent number. So good for Medina. A track that I know he loves, so I'll have my eye on him as well. We also have Kevin Kyle on our screen right now. He's been having a great season. He really, really improved his road course racing etiquette and racecraft and just ability, as we saw last week. And because of that, he's keeping himself in a good point situation. Our lead admin doing a great job. And there is the 55 of Jared Kelly. Okay, I'm gonna say it again, Mean Gene. Look at that 55. It looks weird. But Jared Kelly, nonetheless, he is putting together a great set of races so far. He is number 1, I believe, in our power rankings right now. So Jared Kelly, also one of the guys to beat out here.
I think he's going to be. Kelly, definitely showboat, making things happen out there on the track. Right now, though, if we look at that qualifying, it looks like a Gulf Coast Racing really wants to throw down the gauntlet. You can see David Owens currently on the top of qualifying. Joe Volpis right behind him. Really good run there by Sam Milliken as well. And then Kyle, and hey, how about Pierce with that number 5 spot right now? Nice to see one of those outside names up there, but the heavy hitters, they're still to come. And I'm looking at the temperature gauge. The temp is dropping right now pretty drastically. I think it might have been a good idea to wait till the end.
Yeah, pretty good idea. It's going to deliver a lot of grip into that race car and allow you to really hug those corners if you want. Watching Kelly on screen right now, I think this may be his first lap, and that's why he's running the outside to get some heat in those tires. Because if you want to go fast around here, Mean Gene, especially in a hot lap, you got to do it on the bottom. You got to shortcut this track, right? So
hey, I want to go fast.
Yeah, right? So here goes Jared Kelly ripping the top, trying to get as much speed in that 55 as possible. My assumption here is, yep, he'll cut it down below the apron, and here we go. Let's take a look at how Kelly is. That was the second lap, and that was on the top, and it was 0.01. Oh my goodness, off the pole time. So the speed, Mean Gene, I was wrong, is on the top of the racetrack. That will be interesting as the race actually starts to happen, and these guys have to go side by side.
And look, no sooner does Showboat lay it down than Landry comes up, and he takes away the top spot just as Kelly got it. Boy, I hope there's no bad blood going on right there.
I don't think there's too much. Just a little bit of just bad blood in the way that you just really want to beat that 56. And now we're into 55's wheelhouse. I think he's thinking right now. He's the oval driver, and he's thinking, I'm going to take it to you today, man. You can have that 0.01 advantage over me. But now this is last year's pole sitter, Mean Gene. Let's keep an eye on this 9 of David Medina and see the time he puts down, as he's using the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, yeah. You know, and Medina's got to be thinking, who's afraid of little old me as he brings that thing around.
Yep,
and he's bringing it back in the pit.
Third place for Medina. So our big 3, Mean Gene, picking up where they left off. Look at that.
Yeah, and Gulf Coast right on their tail. So going to be interesting to see exactly how these two teams end up facing off. And it looks like there's our final qualifying results.
Yes, there is. And on the pole today, second week in a row, Jason Landry in the 56. Congratulations to him. Behind him, second week in a row, Jared Kelly in second place. Third place belongs to David Medina, and I think that's the second week in a row as well. Fourth, David Owens, and fifth, Joseph Volpis.
You're going to have Sam Milliken. He's going to start 6th in that number 17. Kevin Kyle continues his assault on top 10s. He's going to start in 7th. Thomas Pierce, best start of the season. That number 46 is going to be 8th. Matthew Smith, 96 car, going to be in 9th. And hey, first time on the track with the Bonfire Race League, Dylan Walterman. He's going to start top 10.
Yeah, great debut effort in qualifying by Walterman. 11th place belonged to Tommy Fox. Great job by him. David Brenner, Friday's winner in the MRL, in 12th. 13th belonged to David Buell. 14th is, oh no, we lost it. There we go. It is Michael Serra, another debuting driver. Then we got Jeff Pfeiffer, Leno, Brandon Shelton, and Chris Smorl on 18th.
And we're going to have Zach Engel rolling up with that 19th starting position. Matt Schofield, he's going to be starting 20th. 21st, Mark Dumont. 22nd, rookie Gerald Rose. 23rd, Justin Malarkey. Dennis Puckett, 24. Nick Mills, 25. Richard Lacroix, 26. Stephen Neal, 27. Rookie Ricky Mandela, 28. Rookie Benton, 29. Jose Medina going to start 30th. And Edward Peltz will be rounding out the field, choosing not to qualify, and he will start in the 31st position. 31 competitors today, Zach. Heck of a nice field here on Super Bowl Sunday morning at Kansas.
Yes, sir. What better way to wake up and pregame and get your I guess now it's time to get your drink on while you watch this, but during this, get woken up and have some exciting action before the Super Bowl. Someone I want to point out, me and Gene, keep your eye on that 20 of Nick Mills, starting on the way to 24th. He led a ton of laps last year. It's going to be fun to watch work through the field. Keep our eye on this as well today. This is our in-season tournament. So these matchups, David Medina versus Nick Mills, Pierres versus Milliken. There we go. Owens versus Kyle. Michael Brenton versus Schofield. I don't think is Schofield here today, Mean Gene? That might be a bye.
He is here.
He is. Okay, my bad. Leno versus Brenner. Landry versus Rose. Kelly versus Peltz. And Volpus versus Fox. So
Everybody's
keep our
here
eye on those matchups. All of them are here. We'll be probably looking at that to remind ourselves of it a few times throughout the race. But those are going to be some fun matchups. A lot of them, like we talked about last week, towards the middle of that bracket, very, very even.
Yeah, that's just another fun thing that league admin Kevin Kyle has added for us to kind of pay attention to as we're shooting through this season. And I see the guys have all got their cars down there. I think we're about ready to get this thing going.
Yes, we are. We got that beautiful camera shot from our producer, Kelly. I love that on the floor pit road shot there, Mean Gene. Look how mean those next gens look. And look how pretty the skies are in Kansas today. Today's going to be a fun one, and I'm excited. And if you guys are drinking at home, getting ready to pregame for the Super Bowl, I came up with some drinking rules, Mean Gene.
Oh.
I did. Okay, so finish your drink for every caution. We'll see how many that happened there. Every time I say absolutely, you have to take a sip. And I'll try not to give you guys alcohol poisoning on that. Every time that Mean Gene makes a sexual innuendo, you have to take a sip.
Oh.
Yup. Every change of lead, you have to take a sip. And every time David Medina makes the race look unachievable for everybody else, you have to take a sip. So only one finish your drink, and it's the cautions.
Oh, man, you need to calm down.
Anything you want to add?
No, I think you handled it, and buddy, I am just ready for it.
Oh, I'm excited, man. It's going to be a fun one. Not often you get to race on Super Bowl Sunday, and one of the cool things about how early this league is we get to get this race in and have the whole day ahead of us.
Can't wait. The Super Day of sports lined up. We start this morning here with this race at Kansas Speedway. Again, this is our 6th race of our 10-race regular season, and this race and the entire season is brought to you by Animal House Customs. That's right. If you're looking to get your MC some new vests, if you'd like some hats, you want to get some jackets for your baseball team, kids Little League, Pee Wee football, reach out. Animal House Customs, they can accommodate all your needs.
Yes, they can. And like I said last week, and I'll probably say this every week, I also do printing, not at the same level as Animal House, but I'm very familiar. I used to do it full time. And after visiting their website and their work, they do amazing work. I can tell you from somebody who's very familiar in the industry, amazing work, and they're using the top of the line equipment, stuff I could only afford in my wildest dreams.
And that stuff is simply gorgeous.
It is. Their embroidery work especially, extremely impressive.
Yeah, I see them rolling around. Now, I am getting excited over here, Zach. 31 cars. Kansas is just wide open. And the question is, I've heard so many drivers say, get up on that high line, ride that high line. But the reality is that'll wear those tires down a little bit quicker than you might want. Maybe we even see blowouts today.
If you go there early, yes, it will, Mean Gene, but later in the run, it's going to be the only place you can go. So you're right. You've got to conserve those tires so you have them later in the run. As the field comes around, the pace car is off, and we are getting ready to go green with Jason Landry leading the field to green. And here we go off the flag. Green flag in the air. Landry and Kelly with a very, very even start. Kelly with a great push and getting a great push behind him by the 11 of Owens as they ship it into turn 1.
Oh, man, they got backed up on that outside lane. slowed down. The field spread out a little bit, but up front you can see side-by-side racing. Landry, Kelly, Medina, Owens, Volpus, Milliken. These guys are still dicing down there. Volpus goes down low. 3 wide early here at Kansas.
3 wide for the lead, and Landry almost slips up and gets into the 55 of Kelly. Kelly trying to use the outside momentum to take the lead, doing a great job, but Medina really able to hug the bottom, and now he's looking for the lead. The guy who got the worst of that was our pole sitter, the 56 of Landry, all the way back to 3rd place, looking at the 2 leaders now with no chance of leading this race or even leading the first lap. Jared Kelly doing a great job running that outside. I think he'll be able to clear the 9 of Medina here. Yes, he is. Kelly the lead.
All right, a little bit of talk on the radio right now by admin, so that'll be curious to see exactly what kind of disciplinary actions are going to happen. A little bit of a confusion on that initial start of how close those cars need to be when they start off. You want those things to be A to B, right?
You do, and it's very bad race etiquette. It's bad all around if you're trying to create space in front of you to get that extra bit of running room, right? That running start, that is not good driving, that's not good racing, and it's not the time to do it early in the race if that is what happened and what the admins are talking about. We'll have to see if any penalties are handed out. I didn't visually see anything initially, Mean Gene, but I had my eye in the front of the field. Maybe it happened somewhere around the middle.
All right, and look at this. We can already see different lanes being used. Jared Kelly cutting it down low all the way down to the apron across the start-finish line. But if you look a little bit further back, I mean, Sam Milliken running in 6th. He's just choosing to say hi. Oh, contact. Matthew Smith, Thomas Pierce.
Pierce in the wall hard, Mean Gene. Big hit for Pierce.
Yeah, Tommy Fox manages to stay going.
Yes, he does, but Pierce, let's keep our eye on that 46 and see how much damage that car has. The left side is banged up, Mean Gene. I'm seeing the fender detached from the bumper. That may affect his aero. At a fast track like that is not something you can afford. I'm sure Pierre is hoping for a caution now to get that fixed.
Yeah, and he's forced down on that low line with a car that might not be 100%. That's fearful because it could cause that plowing to occur. It seems like he's back on track, though, as he maintains that 13th position. Staying low up above him, you can see Smith.
Medina to the inside.
New rookie making his way out there as well.
And we got Medina to the inside looking for the lead. Yep, and look who's back in the picture. The 56 of Landry wants his lead back. And this is our top 3 guys we've seen all season, Mean Gene, battling it out for the lead here. What is going to happen? And look at that from the 9. Oh! And Medina with a little bit of contact with the 56 there. Big moment for Medina, but Medina really struggling to have any meaningful momentum on the exits of these corners by hugging the bottom, Mean Gene. Those runs they're getting at the top are just a lot for that 9 to have to deal with, especially when he can't drift all the way up the corner when he has a car to his outside.
Yeah, and just behind them, you can see Joe Volpus. He does manage to make his way past Medina, and now he and Medina side by side as they are trying to fight for that 3rd place position. Just behind them, though, how about Dylan Waterman already up 4 spots, putting that 603 into the 6th position, trying to throw his name into this Bonfire Race League hat.
Yeah, the rookie doing a fantastic job in that really cool Hoonigan paint scheme. I love that thing. I love how busy and cool it is. But yeah, look at him. He's working through the field quick. Already looking at 5th place right here on Milliken and just doing a fantastic job keeping his car clean. So excited to have rookies like this in our league.
I think that what'll be really interesting is to see how many of these cars are super fast for about 15 laps, and then what happens once they start to tail off when those tires start to wear out. As I look a little bit back further in the field, I can see some cars just riding that bottom, letting others just go right on by. Have to wonder if that strategy is going to pay off later or if they're going to live to regret it.
Yeah, keep your eye on those cars and try to remember who they are, Mean Gene, because I'm going to be curious about that as well. It's going to be very dependent on how long the run is, obviously. But, man, I like that idea. As we're looking now at the front of the field, look at Volpus on the inside trying to make it work. He initially had a run on the 56 of Landry, went to the bottom and tried to complete the pass, and look how bad it's cost him, Mean Gene. He is now getting passed by the 603 of Dylan Waterman. So, wow, you really got to pick and choose and make it stick when you use that bottom lane. There you see Medina trying it again, and now that's going to cost him a run to Waterman. Waterman's going to potentially be able to get to his outside on entry here. We'll see. He is, and keep your eye on Waterman. He may be able to get to 3rd place here, Mean Gene. But so far, and I hope this changes, but right now we have a top dominant track.
Yeah, right now that top is working early in the run. I'm watching, though, the 7 of Joe Volpus. He's the top car that seems to be trying to use that bottom line consistency. We see the 9 of Medina jump down, but that was almost in the middle of the turn. And I wonder if his tires are going to appreciate that kind of action here later in the run.
I like what we're seeing Vulpes do. Vulpes used the top lane to protect his track position that he qualified with. He qualified in 5th, so he's been making sure to stay where he is. So he used the top to make a couple passes and to defend his position. But right when he realized that I can go to the bottom and not really have too much pressure for that 17 Milliken, and I don't really care about 4th place right now, I want to see what this does to my tires, he did it. He is staying disciplined to the bottom since then, really trying to give these tires a chance to come back around to him. Maybe also feeling like, I don't know if I have the actual raw speed for that 55, 56, and that 9. I'm going to try to beat them by being smarter about my tire wear. So keep your eye on that 07. I think he's our fastest car that's being the most disciplined with his tires so far.
Yeah, a little bit further back, you can see David Owens and Thomas Pierce side by side. You got Kyle Lynott directly behind them. So that's a fun side-by-side race we're watching right there with the 11 and the 46. Owens, part of that Gulf Coast race team, you know he wants to ride that bottom and let those tires settle in. That was a theme I heard from those guys in that Gulf Coast League was let's save our tires, let other people go high and burn them up. So cars using that strategy are going to be the 22 of Brenner, the 11 of Owens, the 7 of Vulpes, and the 251 of Rose. So those guys all trying to run that low line the whole race. And right now it seems to be working. David Owens, he's in 11th. He's lost 7 spots, though. So we'll see if he's going to get that late speed that he is really hoping on losing those spots early.
Yeah, I think the difference between Owens and Vulpes is, like I said, Vulpes went to the top in the beginning to protect those lines. I don't think Owens did. I think Owens has been hell-bent on the inside, not worried about the position to lose, thinking that he'll get them back if this run goes long and those tires come back around him. And I agree with that if it happens, Mean Gene. It does hurt to lose those positions initially, especially when you qualified well, like Owens did. But man, when the tires fall off bad and you're the one who took care of them, we're talking 3/10, 4/10 delta every lap. That is so much better than just giving up a few spots in the beginning and staying with them, keeping the track, you know, the actual track position or the track space close to them to where when the tires matter, you were going to drive away from them, put them seconds behind you. So again,
Yeah,
keep our eye on the 11. Let's see how important that inside is for tire wear.
Go up at the front, we can see they're pretty much single file. Top 4, Joe Vulpes behind them, Kevin Kyle, Sam Milliken. So a lot of single file race, and you can see the 9 of Medina still trying to make that bottom line work, and just going to lose that exit speed. But I've been told that that lower line later in a run, the times will equal out. I'll tell you, it's still super exciting back there with Owens and Thomas Pierce, and they are backing up behind them. You can see Lynott in there. You can see Christopher Smurrell, Matthew Smith, Jeff Pfeiffer. Welcome back. There's a roadblock right in front of you. So this thing could get intense.
It can.
Great in-shot cam right there by our producer, Jared Kelly.
Wow, 3 wide right there. So tight. Look at Lynott.
Touchy.
Look in the middle. Lynott doing a great job right there with the little amount of space that he has, but you saw how much that kills momentum, and he had no interest in going 3 wide one more time. I also got to shout out that 46 of Pierre's. I saw him hit the wall. We know that car is damaged. That front bumper doesn't look good, but it's not affecting his speed. Doing a great job maintaining that position in front of David Owens.
A little bit further back, we can see Sam Mills and Tommy Fox side by side. Those cars getting awful close together. Mark Dumont, Gerald Rose, and Matt Schofield coming up. So these are drivers that might not be as accustomed to running as closely as those leaders are. Be interesting to watch this group of drivers back here as well.
You could not have fit a piece of paper in between the end or the rear of that 20 and the front of the 57. That was such a close by Mills, but Mills is doing a good job. I told you guys to keep your eye on him. He started in 24th. I believe he just made the pass for 19th. So Mills doing a good job working his way through the field here, Mean Gene, but I think also thinking about his tires and also thinking I'm going to have an easier time. Oh, as Mills catches the wall there, actually, and allows the 14 to go on the inside of him. Thomas Fox going to try to make the... I'm sorry, that's not Thomas Fox. Mark Dumont going to try to make the pass on him right there and completes it. Mills struggling a little bit, actually, and there's Gerald Rose to the inside of Mills now. Mills really needs to get this car underneath him. That wall hit may have affected him a little bit.
Yeah, Rose almost got the BOGO there. He got by Fox and almost got Mills. Mills going to keep pushing this thing forward, and our Canadian companion, Dumont, continues to push that car forward. Exciting racing in the back of the field there. Back up front, though, it is Showboat Jared Kelly. continuing to lay down the law here. You know, after last week, that guy would love to get that dub back in his column.
Gerald Rose also completes a beautiful pass on the 20 of Nick Mills. Got to his inside, and yeah, he got him, and he just gassed it on exit. Something that we actually haven't seen very many people do today. Gerald Rose did there. He found some drive off on the exit, and what it looked like he did is he got his wheel straight and just drove it straight out of the corner towards the wall. But what that allowed him to do was to clear the 20 of Mills so he could bring it all the way to the wall. That was a brilliant textbook move by Gerald Rose. Great job from the rookie. We've seen some good improvement from him as this year has gone on.
Yeah, I think he's benefiting from the guidance of that Gulf Coast team. And that's what we see is these bigger teams just making their way, sharing that knowledge up front, and it's in full effect. You can see 2 Folcom drivers and then one of their close colleagues, Jared Kelly, in that group as well. So the big teams, it works. You benefit from the knowledge that those guys have, if you listen.
It's so true, man, Gene. A lot of people, I mean, I don't think anyone enjoys losing to David Owens as often as they do. And people like that and all the other Gulf Coast guys like Volpus, I came in second place to those 2 more times than I'm proud of. But I will say that I think I'm a product, especially of a David Owens. He has coached me to no end. A lot of the things that I'm repeating in my head at races are things that David Owens taught me. And that really is one of the beautiful things about sim racing and sim racing in leagues with great people, is that they are here, they want to beat you, but they want to beat the best version of you, and that means they'll coach you to make you a better driver. And I love that.
So those top 3 pulling away. We still got some great battles going on back here. You can see Zach Engel, Michael Serra, Brandon Shelton, David Puckett, all that group right there. Shelton was so fast in practice. I'm a little bit surprised to see him back here dealing with these guys, but look how close this group is together. And we're on lap 23, so these tires are going to start playing games with these boys real fast.
Let's go to the 11 of Owens real quick against Pierre's. And let's take a look at the inside lane working here. So we've talked about Owens, but staying disciplined on the inside has never gone away from it. And now he's at Pierre's. Pierre's has been sticking with the top. So let's see here, Mean Gene. Are the tires starting to play a role here? We're on lap 24. This is when I would assume, in terms of lap count, we'd start to see the tires matter. Pierre's really going to benefit from that draft of Brenner right there and push Brenner in the corner. And Brenner a little bit deep into that corner, and I think Owen's going to try to take advantage of that. I like the position the 11 has here, Mean Gene. I think he's going to be able to make easy work of the 22 as well and get a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah, that would be nice. Gulf Coast teammates right there, David Brenner and David Owens. So you can see that strategy. You know, Brenner ain't going to be happy pushing into the outside. He's going to try to get back down into that preferred lane as quickly as possible. And don't look now, right behind them coming into the pictures, that 85 of Jeff Pfeiffer. He's moved up 3 spots to take over that 12th position, and he's starting to close on that team. Right behind him, you can see Matthew Smith is off the pace a little bit. I got to start wondering if he's having tires.
Pfeiffer smacks the wall, Mean Gene. He absolutely smacked it. That was a big hit by the 85.
So tires definitely becoming an issue as we can see these guys starting to plow up the track. And this might be the point, if we stay green, where we're going to see those guys that stayed low start to have a little bit more of an advantage if they can just roll it in and then power on out.
Yep, and we are seeing the corner exits really be difficult for these guys. Top or bottom, they're having a hard time wrapping the corner, making the car turn. Right there, you see from the forces of Pierre's drifting up the racetrack right up towards the wall. He's able to keep it off there, but you can tell these guys are struggling. These cars are tightening up, Mean Gene. They're not getting super loose. They are getting very tight.
Look at the 69 right there. This guy is going backwards. That's Michael Benton.
Yes,
he is just worn that right front off of his car, and he is going a lap down now. You can see Puckett about to get by him. Dennis Puckett is in 17th, gonna zip on through. That car is way off of the pace, and you just gotta hope that none of these guys that are starting to surround him are gonna have any issues as they come through.
Wow. That was a sketchy moment back there, too. Yeah, you're right, Mean Gene. The 69 clearly had some issues. There goes Gerald Rose at the bottom to try to make some quick move. Oh, man. Rose not getting anywhere near as low as he needed to or as high as he needed to on entry, and really having to sacrifice a lot there. Entering on the apron, that is not what you want to have happen. Big moment there for Rose.
Rookie violence.
Yep, and that oftentimes is the type of stuff you see happen. If you want to go a little bit further up the field, too, let's take a look at the 07 of Volpus. Now making a little bit of work on Waterman. This group has lost their progress through our big 3, Mean Gene. Look at that gap now. They are about a second in front of them. But nonetheless, Volpus has stayed hell-bent on that inside. really, really disciplined with it, not leaving it, and it's starting to catch back up to him. As look at this, he's going to have a run here on the 603 of Waterman. Waterman is stuck on the outside, but like I said, me and Gene, these cars are tightening up. Watch how Waterman is having a hard time keeping that 603 off the wall. And the whole benefit of the outside, me and Gene, as you know, is you can throttle up early. You can, and there he goes in the wall again. Ooh. Kevin Kyle having to check up to not run through him and set him in the inside grass. And it's because these things are tight, me and Gene. They're not, they think they can get
back on the track.
And Leno into the wall. That's going to be a caution as the cars scramble around them. Oh, wow, big moment there. Caution is out as we will take a look at that one. Pierre's, I did not see the initial one. All I saw was Leno make contact with him and go in the outside wall. I think Leno was a innocent bystander, and Mean Gene, finish your drink. First caution.
Wow. That was a lot of excitement right there that we just saw them go through. Looked like Pierce got a little loose and ended up having contact with the few drivers. Michael Benton shot through there, made contact with Kyle Lynott. Big damage to Lynott on that contact. And then also Tommy Fox took it in the right rear from Benton also as he shot through there. So a lot of and that does pull out a serious caution.
Take a sip. That counts as an intuendo. But yeah, that was a big one, me and Gene. And like we talked about a lot, that 46 of Pierre's was dealing with damage on that car. So that car was not only dealing with ancient tires, but it was probably looser than most with all that aero damage. I was talking a lot about tightness, but that Pierre's car was likely very loose. As we see the whole field, yeah, no surprise, bring it in, wanting these tires off the car as soon as they can, wanting nothing to do with them. But that big three, Mean Gene, they were getting interesting, and those tires were getting so interesting. I'm a little bit bummed we got that caution when we did. I think we probably could have gone, I'll have our producer tell us, probably 10, 15 more. Am I right there on fuel?
Well, one thing is for sure right there.
Okay.
That caution right there is definitely going to make those drivers a hero to some, but a anti-hero to others.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was correct. It is 10, 15 more. So we had more of that to go, Mean Gene. So I'm going to go ahead and say lap 25 on a run is when the tires seem to really matter. Where if you use the outside, you're struggling, you're getting tight, you're not being able to gas into the corner the way you're used to. And if you're using the inside, very disciplined, and you're stuck there, you're starting to reap the rewards of that and the benefit of all that. So we'll have to keep our eye on that on this run, Mean Gene. But that was some good racing. I really enjoyed what we saw there. The things that stuck out the most to me was our big three opening up that very sizable gap to the field below that, or the field behind them, and just how good the cars who stuck to the bottom were about to be. They were about to be able to get all the fruits of their labor, and they were, oh man, I bet they're a little bit bummed about that one. And I see the 56 of Landry going to the back of the field. Did that guy go a couple miles per hour too fast? Yes, he did.
Somebody was speeding.
Speeding police. And on exit. Might as well make a count.
Well, so, when you got 56, that means you can't drive 55.
I hated that. Medina speeds as well, Mean Gene. Oh, no. Wow. Okay, so I got to get some confirmation from our producer real quick, too, about Landry specifically. Since he sped in two areas, is he going to get a hold, or is this a drive-through? So this will be an end of line for both. I'm sorry, not even a drive-through. Mean Gene, kind of weird rules on iRacing, and I'll explain these as quickly as possible before I bore everybody. But if you speed over a certain amount of miles per hour, that sounded dumb. But like if you go like 10 over, it's a hold. They'll hold you in the pits for about 20 seconds. And sometimes if you speed in multiple areas, they'll do the same. But just the quick, 2-3 miles per hour over, that's the end of the longest line. You can recover from that this early in the race.
Well, I tell you what, these guys have got to be excited, because how often do you pass Medina and Landry at the same time? Now, that's got to be a rarity, even if it is because of penalty. It feels nice to drive by those two guys.
Yeah, hey, you can take it how you can get it as the pace car pulls off. So now it is going to be Jared Kelly leading the field to green with Volpis on his outside. Kelly will be controlling the restart, and he goes early. What a jump by the 55. Ooh. Right there, Mean Gene. You can tell the difference between a restart by the flagman and one by the lead driver. Jared Kelly off like a rocket.
Yeah, all those guys did take that opportunity to get fresh tires and for fuel. David Buell, he's off the pace a little bit. Also, I love David's number. Can you tell what number he is?
Oh, yeah. It's such a cool number. I love that number. It's super cool. I think John Cena came up with it.
Mm-hmm. So Buell does back him up a little bit, and that's going to allow Kelly and Volpus side by side for the lead. Outside lane a little bit faster, and that's going to let Kelly use that momentum to come across that start-finish line, and he's going to lead him right there. Kevin Kyle up there. Dylan Walterman still part of the pack. David Brenner, David Owens, David Buell. Will the real David please stand up?
I know. We got no short distance. 3 wide behind him with Owens on the inside. I'm thinking that no number car, Mean Gene, may have taken 2 tires or no tires because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he had that track position before that caution, and I think that would explain why he's falling through the field so quickly.
I don't know about that strategy.
Not with 30 on the, no, I don't either. Like you mentioned before the race, we could see blowouts today. I would be very careful about that. But nonetheless, look at also the 31 of Kevin Kyle doing a great job today. He's been there all day, and that's really been the story of the season for Kevin Kyle. He told me yesterday that he's put a lot of focus on this next-gen race car. I've raced Kyle's in trucks and other race cars, but this year he's really wanted to get the next-gen underneath him, and he's done a great job showing tons of speed in that car.
Ooh, Jason Landry trying to make his way back up through the field. He's already up to 19th, but it's 3 and 4 wide back there with those. And remember, these guys were used to spacing it out and running single file. So now to see 3 of them side by side, that is heart pumping. But Landry and Medina got to make their way through this traffic. They do not want to be stuck back here, especially when folks start getting them old tires.
Yeah, Landry just going wherever people aren't right now and not being shy about going 3 wide. Look at the aggressiveness of 56, and right behind him is the 9 of Medina. Likely going to follow Landry and say, you open up the holes and I'll follow you through them. But Landry right now, we saw Landry not shy about sticking with the top on that first run, so I expect him to make the majority of his passes through the field on the top when it's available to him. But man, there's just nowhere to go. There's the onboard right there from Landry. Where do you go? I mean, Gene, there's nowhere.
Well, if you want an A&W root beer, you can go straight ahead. If you need a Mountain Dew, it's a little bit further on the left.
Good point. At least he does have good beverages available to him in front of him. That was an absolutely dang it.
Great racing right now. The 3 Davids running 4, 5, and 6. Sam Miller. Matthew Smith with a good run today. He's up into 9th running that 96 Chevrolet. Big mover right now, though. You got to look at Nick Mills. Mills is up 16 spots up into the 9th position. He's running in that number 24, that white and black scheme. He's been riding aggressive to get there. You can see him behind Kyle, and he's got Matthew Smith there with him as well. So those are your hard chargers that we're currently looking at as we complete lap 39. And we've still got plenty to go here at Kansas.
Yes, thank you, Nick Mills, for making it look like I know what the hell I'm talking about. Because I told you to look for this guy, and he's done what I said he'd do. He's in the top 10 now, and he's not showing any signs of slowing down. Nick Mills making his way through the field. And man, I'm looking at the blimp view right now, me and Gene, and I'm keep looking at the 56 of Landry and the 9 of Medina, and they just can't go anywhere. It is so crazy in front of them. And you hear me talk about this all the time. This is what happens when you lose control of a race. Everything just gets so much more difficult, and you have to be patient now. You're really, like, not only does he not have passes available to him because there's just nowhere to go, he's burning up tires. He can't get to the bottom like I'm sure he'd like to right now, but also he's trying to make sure he can get that run when it becomes available to him. He is using up tire. It's going to be hard to get back that lead on this specific run. He's probably just going to have to minimize the damage of this one and try to get whatever trap position he can. Same goes with that 9 of Medina behind him, also stuck to the top. And Medina was one that we saw who liked the bottom, now stuck up top.
Yeah, these guys up front, though, we're looking at the 3 drivers, Kelly, Volpus, and Waterman, trying to pull away. They got about a second, 1.7 second lead over the 3 Davids. And then behind the Davids, you can see the field just kind of pack up. But that group right ahead of Malarkey, Matthew Smith is the last group ahead of them. I think that's where we're going to start to see that bottom lane start to speak up again. Lots of drivers did not learn or did not pay attention to that first run, and they're still riding that high line the entire time. I think that's going to cause those tires to wear out, and that is going to cause those cars to truck. And when you go 2-3 wide, which we've seen multiple times, then incidents could occur.
Look at the 20 of Nick Mills, Mean Gene. Oh my goodness, he's making the pass for 6th place on David Owens. He is making quick work of this group. He's the only one I'm seeing that's just absolutely working through the field. Take a sip, everybody. I can't stop saying absolutely. But wow, and the racing in this part of the field is it's just insane, Mean Gene. They are side by side. It looks like from about 15th all the way back to 25th. It is so crazy here, and I think that is also what's allowed that group of three to get some distance. They are single file, kind of working together, using the draft from one another to race amongst themselves, because the mayhem behind them is not anything they want to mess with. As man, I'm just again that 20 Nick Mills. He's now setting his sights on the 22 of Renner, breaking up the Davids already. But Nick Mills, this guy knows this track, led the most laps here last year, and has quickly made his way through the field after a bad qualifying effort. And kind of some struggles in that first run, but doing great now.
I think that dirty air is also something we just have not talked about enough. We talk about the high line, we talk about that low line. That middle line, they kind of call it the sucker's line. But when there's dirty air everywhere in front of you, that middle line actually becomes a viable option. And I think we see more and more of that, especially when people get to be too wide in front of you. That's somewhere that you can go there, maintain that stability of your car, and get a little bit less tire wear. That quick jerking left and right, especially in these next-gen cars, that'll throw your balance off in a heartbeat. And once you start trucking, that means you're going right into the wall.
Great shout, me and Gene. Couldn't agree more, especially about, yeah, you're right. The middle lane can be considered the suck hole at certain tracks. But when the dirty air is this abundant and the clean air is that hard to find, you go where the clean air is. And like you said after that, is so true in everything about these next gens, especially. Just commit to the line on the entry of the corner. If you're gonna take the middle, yeah, it's not the ideal line, but just commit to it so your car is angled to it and you don't have to make any big adjustments mid-corner. You can make passes that way. Great shout, Mean Gene.
Well, front Jared Kelly, though, he is loving that outside. Dylan Waterman, he's trying to get away from that dirty air, but Joe Volpus just continues to go down and use that bottom lane. So that tire strategy still part of Joe Volpus's equation. And you just look back a little bit further, you can see David Owens, he's trying to do that same thing, which is just stay as low as he can as he's trying to make his way now around Mills and finally takes that spot back.
Yeah, and the rookie of Waterman looking to lead his first laps in the BRL in his first race. That would be very impressive. I don't even know how many people have done that. So Dylan Waterman with an amazing rookie effort so far today, doing a great job putting tons of pressure on the 55 of Kelly. But yeah, that middle pack group, me and Gene, those guys are going for it. And the 56 of Landry is just in the middle of it, having to deal with it, as is the 9 of Medina. This is not what these guys asked for. But man, this part of the field is absolute craziness. Look at that 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, you look back, you can see Brandon Shelton.
Oh, right, Kelly gets tied by the 85 of Piper.
He still, look at the 55, still making moves, or the 56, as he's trying to keep it straight 4 wide there for a minute.
Big moment there. Piper sent it in way too deep, straight into 56 of Kelly. I'm sorry, 56 of Landry. Landry will not be happy about that, but they were 3 wide. The room was not there, and amazing save by Landry, but huge moment that cost him, I think, 3 or 4 positions there.
Yeah, Landry, and he's down 20 after getting stuck with that speeding penalty, running back in 21st. Matthew Smith behind him, who ran so well, down 13 spots. Michael Sarah down 9, Tommy Fox down 14. So that whole group there, 21st back, they got to be frustrated. They thought they were going to be in the front of this thing.
Yeah, isn't it the most fun too, Mean Gene, where you are in the most intense racing in the entire field, but you're also not at all where you want to be position-wise.
No, and then you look ahead, and you got 2 rookies. You got Rose and Mandela, and you don't know what the rookies are going to do. These guys only got 6 races under their belt, so you can't take chances to go side by side with a guy, especially ones with I ratings that are around 1,1600.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never a great feeling racing around unfamiliar people or people new to it, especially this deep into a run. We are now lap 52, so we are about 20 laps into this run, Mean Gene. Tires are going to start playing a factor, I'd say, in about 5-10 laps. We'll start to see these guys drifting up towards the top, having a hard time keeping the car off the wall. So Landry, just that situation going works for him there.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of him, you can see Medina still trying to make his way through that foolishness as well. So we'll keep an eye on the back of this pack as these guys are trying to make their way and fight back to where they think they belong and where they ran so strongly. You can see Medina right there running next to Zach Angle up 4 spots. currently being shown in the 15th place. Good run there by Engel. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Engel has been impressive all year. We talked about it last week. Engel has been improving so much. I run a Thursday league with Engel. We have an in-season tournament, and I was one of the captains, and I drafted Engel because I have that much belief in that guy. I think he's shown so much speed this past year, and it's really shown up on the track and in his results. He's like I said last week, I'm a big fan of Zach Engel.
Ooh, little wiggle right there.
Yeah, it almost on the wall there. And look at this. We might get a 4-1 here, Mean Gene.
We don't need to go 4-1, boys.
Oh, no. Around they go huge. Oh, that's Jason Landry. That is Jason Landry in that. Oh, my. No yellow yet. And
Oh, and more contact.
Oh, wow. And there's the yellow. I believe that's Tommy Fox. I absolutely jinxed that. Or that's Zach Engel. I jinxed that. That's my fault. I apologize, Zach. I'm so sorry. Wow, Mean Gene. What a big... That was Mark Dumont. I'm so sorry. That was Mark Dumont. Done towing to the pit, so Mark Dumont likely calling it a day after that one. That was a big hit for the.
Look at Shelton's tire.
The two is Shelton no longer turning really. Look at that rear tire, Mean Gene, not turning at all. He tows. Lots of cars collected in that one. Shelton done for the day. Yeah, Dumont done for the day. Oh no. Oh no.
And let's think of the bigger, another implication of this. Looking at Landry get wrecked right there. He's still in that tournament, so he gets that wreck. That might knock him out. There's still 16 drivers left in our big in-season tournament. So that could be a big one. Landry's a heavy hitter. And if he suddenly vanishes from that tournament, that takes a lot of the pressure off some of these other guys.
The 3 of Ricky Mandela smoking as well. He has a lot of damage. But you're right. He is in the tournament.
You're allowed to smoke. They're adults. They're adults. They can smoke.
Not the good part. Not the good kind of smoking. The bad smoking.
But this is Kansas though, so I think they would get arrested, right? I don't know how that works.
I think it is. That 3 car, Mean Gene, it is the front right is completely going left. Like it looks like it's posing for a sexy picture. You know what I mean? And he can't even.
Burt Reynolds on a tiger skin rug.
Yeah, or you know how like cars pose with their like, their wheel turn. That's what it looks like when he drives now. He can't even get it in the pits, Mean Gene. Like, it won't go straight. I think that's going to be it for our rookie of Mandela as well. Ugh.
Yeah, that 4 wide right there was really dangerous. Once there was the wiggle ahead of them that caused them to go 4 wide, we saw Landry take it down low, and then all of a sudden Mandela got loose, goes back and forth, and just kind of collects them. And, we were 23, 24 laps into that run. And that's what we were worried about. Those guys running that high line. And then the car starts to truck up a little bit. And, oh, my, he's just spinning, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, that car is just not drivable. Absolutely not drivable. It is so ruined. That was a brutal wreck. I could not believe Landry's okay. I saw that thing nose in the wall at about 150, spin around, and then hit its ass on the wall. And
he's still on the track.
Nothing even happened. He's still on the track, and it looks okay. I don't know what happened. Look at that car. I mean, it doesn't look like what just happened to it happened.
No, it's
that
going
was a
straight.
Big wreck. Yeah, so Landry looking good. I think we have enough time. Okay, lights off. Real quick, producer, could you pull up the tournament so we can take a look at some implications? Okay, here we go. So Medina. So I want to see who Landry's matched up with Gerald Rose. So Landry just needs to do some damage minification here and really try to not let that situation get worse, as we've seen Gerald Rose around the 20s, so that's still doable for him. Lynott, another car that we saw have issues today. He's against Brenner, so Brenner looking good in that little matchup there. And those are the big ones. I'm going to take one more quick look, Mean Gene. Tell me if anything sticks out to you.
No, yeah, Brenner is going to make it because Kyle Lynott got destroyed. Jared Kelly, Edward Peltz. I think Peltz is running kind of in the middle. He's around 20th.
He's in the 20s, yeah.
Vulpes and Fox. Vulpes is on fire today. Tommy's having a good run. Remember, he got struck by that 69 on that wreck in 23, so he might still be having a little bit of damage to the right rear of that car. So lots of stories still to be told about the in-season tournament.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that as pace car is off, and it's going to be Waterman and Kelly. Watch for Kelly on the inside lane. He's controlling the restart. Great jump again from Kelly. Better response from Waterman than the last restart with Vulpes on the outside. I am very, very impressed by Dylan Waterman in that 603. He has done a great job all day. He's kept it clean. He's been in the front of the field, and he's now really impressive on that first restart. Nonetheless, though, here goes Volpus to the inside looking for second place.
Yeah, Joe Volpus, this guy's been on that bottom all day long, has to be happy with what it's gone. Most of these guys did take fuel and 4 tires once again. I think that's a theme we're going to see unless a caution comes out and forces that 10-lap shootout. Ooh, somebody's fading straight back right there in the middle. Is that Smurrell, maybe?
Looks like it is. It looks like it could be Smurrell fading back. And look at that, Waterman to the inside. Looking for the lead here. Will he complete the pass on Kelly? What a great move. He really set that up in 3 and 4. He's going to have to clear the 55 here on the exit the corner to have any hope of maintaining this lead. Let's see if he has it. Oh, they're going to go side by side, but he's not going to have the momentum here. Mean Gene is going to have to hold on, and Kelly able to maintain the lead there.
If you're wondering about Landry, he's still in the back. Looks like that car does have damage. He does not have that top speed that he would like. The other guy, though, that was penalized for speeding David Medina back into 9th. So I think Medina is back into contention.
Yeah, we're keeping our eye on Landry to see how much that damage is affecting him. He's in the back of the field right now. He has not made any passes. I doubt that car is driving the way he wants it to. There may be damage that we're just not visually seeing quite as much. I'm looking at the car now. The rear is beat up. The front is beat up. Like I said, it hit in the front and back on the wall. Nothing crazy, but that car not driving the way he wants it to.
But hey, we might get another caution, give him an opportunity to come down. Break out a Sawzall, a ball peen hammer, and the duct tape and get this thing back in order. I am still fascinated, though, by that racing from about 13th back. Those guys just seem, we got it on the camera right there. You can see Mills and David Owens, and then behind them, it just gets really thick. Looks like 3-4 wide again. They must not have learned anything from that last incident.
No, these guys are still hungry. Kevin Kyle is finding himself about 13th place right now. Not where in the field he wants to be, so definitely driving with a sense of urgency. As we see this part of the field all day, Mean Gene, if you've been running 8th to 15th, you have not gotten a break. It's been non-stop intensity. Oh, cars on the wall right there. A few cars in the wall on the top, trying to make that top lane work. Also curious, Mean Gene, how many cars took 4, how many cars took 2. I'm looking at my pit times now. Looking at everybody took 4, as they should have. So these guys not really having to deal with the worst these tires have to offer in this race yet. We haven't gotten a run quite long enough, but it's what that's resulted in is some really intense racing with guys with tons of confidence on fresh tires.
I really hope we get a little bit longer of a run. I was fascinated by the guys that rode on the bottom, even though they were lacking in that top speed. Once they put 25 laps on those tires, all of a sudden we saw the highliners start to truck up, and those lowliners actually have that exit speed. So I'm hoping for another nice long one here, and maybe we can see exactly what's going to pay off for that short-term speed or that long-run distance.
And here goes Volpus to the inside of Waterman looking for second place. Volpus has been making that bottom line work better than almost anyone today, especially on the early stages of runs. Volpus has really found a way to power down through the corners and maintain the speed. Oh man, almost enough to clear Waterman there. Not quite wanting to pull up in front of him and risk getting turned. But Volpus looking to get that second place and doing it on the bottom. And really, he's been there for about 2 or 3 laps now, Mean Gene. So he's not losing the momentum the way other drivers have.
Yeah, that side draft and not paying off. And look 2 spots behind him. You can see his Gulf Coast teammate David Owens also making that bottom line work. A little bit further back, other cars you see, Nick Mills trying that low line now, and Kevin Kyle as well. So some of these guys starting to figure out that low line might be the way to go, especially early in a run, just to see if you can get some extra laps out of that. Look how close Walterman is right behind Volpus. Finally, Volpus gets clear, and now second place belongs to him. He can set his eyes on Jared Kelly. Look at that lead, though, already 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, Kelly taking advantage of no one being side by side with him and really able to get a good lead. But yeah, I apologize to Walterman. I did not see that L. Thank you for correcting me there. That's Dylan Walterman. And that, I think, right there was Volpus, not in a mean way, but a little bit taking advantage of a rookie being who he's making a pass on, because that was so close, but it was so close because of the 07 of Volpus. He closed the door and made sure that Walterman would not be able to enter the outside on him on that next corner, and I think he had the guts to do that, thinking this guy's going to check up for me. He's a rookie. He's not used to us. And Volpus, a veteran of the series, definitely comfortable making that move, but nonetheless, a beautiful move by Joseph Volpus. Still, even after completing the pass, Mean Gene, curious to me, sticking with the bottom, trying to really save those tires for later in this run. I like what that 07 has showed today.
Yeah, he talked about the distance between the cars. I drove earlier around this track, and I was running with Nick Mills. At one point, I thought Nick was super close to me, and I said, hey, bro, what are you doing? We went to the replay. He still had feet between he and I, so that distance, it really can throw you off, especially as you're gaining more and more experience in the league. Joe Volpus, an expert at figuring out just how far is between him and another car.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot of trial and error, but Joe Volpus there using the inches and having the comfort to do it. As now you see Owens trying to do something similar to Walterman. Walterman fall into this field a little bit, may have used some stuff up trying to complete that pass on Kelly early in this run. But Walterman now fighting to hold on to 4th place against the 11th David.
Ooh, contact, little touch there. Medina touches David Owens, tells him, hey, let's go faster and get by this rookie.
And again, pushing him into the corner, telling him, let's go, man. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. I got speeding penalties to compensate.
Yes, he
Bills
does.
to pay.
And also, I think what Medina's thinking is if I send Owens into that corner super hard and he slides up, I'll just make him 3 wide and I'll take the inside and I'll get a 2-for-1 special.
And right behind them, look at David Buell. He said, oh, is that how it's going to be? He's now on the tail of Medina. No contact made, but he got awful close. You know he got a mouthful of that dirty air.
Yeah, David Buell not enjoying the dirty air any more than we're enjoying his lack of a number. But he has done a great job staying with his field. He got, I think, track position through some pits, but since then has been able to maintain it and really had the speed to run with these guys. So David Buell having a great run today as well as Medina. He has done a masterful job working through the field. He kept himself out of trouble, unlike his competitor in the 56 Landry. And now he only has a handful of cars until he can get back to that lead.
Ooh, and they're starting to bunch up back there again. Little side-by-side racing. We can see Rose overtaking Angle. Angle going the wrong way now. Trying to catch up with Puckett, and right behind them you can see that rookie Michael Smith also having a little bit of difficulty. So I think we're seeing that tire wear now as some cars going backwards, some cars hitting those same lap times, but just being able to take advantage of the tires wearing out on those other cars.
Yeah, definitely. It's you're really starting to see it, and it's seeming to happen earlier in the runs than it did earlier in this race. The tires already playing a factor here. I think we're only about 15 laps into this run. Joe Rose really having the run of his BRL career so far, making a pass right now for the 16th place, and that is not because of attrition. He just has that much speed. He is a lead lap car, so great job by him. As him and Angle are battling it out real intense right now. But yeah, lots of side-by-side action throughout this field right now. As we see Medina and Kyle battling in front of them. This is intense racing. It's only getting even. Look at David Medina now to the bumper of Walterman and also the 17 of Milliken. Medina making his way through this field. And this car, this 9, is on rails.
Yeah, he's trying to get clear of that dirty air after that speeding penalty. David Medina, 5th place at the moment, but he would love to cut his way. But he's got a lot of work to do. Side by side, getting that side drafting with David Owens. Got Sam Milliken right ahead of him. And then all of a sudden, the rookie Walterman. Got to get Joe Volpus. And then, hey, a 1.5 seconds plus. That's where Jared Kelly lives.
Yeah, it is. Jared Kelly just...
He's led a lot of laps.
Yeah, he has. He's led, I assume, the most, he's probably already guaranteed to lead the most laps in this race, has Kelly. So that's going to be some bonus points for him. But Kelly doing a great job controlling this race. Only thing that I'd be worried about a little bit of the 55 for Kelly is he hasn't had to do too much actual racing. He's just been dominating. So when that 9 of Medina or the 11 of Owens or really anyone else gets to him, or whether it be in a restart or in a long run, Kelly's going to have to figure that out on the spot.
Yeah, and meanwhile, if you're wondering, we got 24 cars on the lead lap. Who's in 24th? Jason Landry. He is milking this thing around the track right now, trying to stay on the lead lap. So his chances at advancing in this tournament are slowly dwindling away unless we can get some cautions so he can break out a ball peen hammer and get some damage repaired.
Jason Landry also, not just the in-season tournament, but the regular season championship and the regular season standings. Jason Landry, one of our top drivers right now. This is going to hurt. You have Jared Kelly, our points leader, in first place. Medina is also up there. He's in fourth, and guys like Volpus and Owens are also high up in the points, having great days today.
Yeah, he's just got to stay in that top 12. I think he'll be okay on that top 12. And then once they start that round, they all start with the same amount of points. So it's pretty much a get there and then make it happen. Not accustomed to seeing Landry running in the back. Maybe we'll get a caution and he can move back up the field. But up front, Jared Kelly, he is just laying it down. This guy has led so many laps. I mean, this might be a check-in, check-out kind of situation.
Yeah, Kelly's just doing excellent right now. He's doing what we assumed he'd do after last week, having so much speed in the road course, but then coming into his wheelhouse at Noble and laying down the law, doing what we anticipated. But yeah, we're about halfway, me and Gene, so we still got a long way to go. As now here goes David Medina, the outside of Walterman, making it past the fourth place. Fourth place for David Medina, and Volpus also was able to complete that pass. So Volpus still in second, Walterman falling all the way back to fifth. Owens also able to get Walterman, and now the 73 of Malarkey going to try to take advantage of that situation as well. Man, Walterman really just opened the door now. Everyone's walking through it, aren't they, Mean Gene?
Yeah, that group right there, second place through 10th place, is just out of control. That's Volpus leading that group all the way back to Morel. Then there's a big old gap until you get the next four cars led by Jeff Pfeiffer. So we're seeing some of this field separate. So a lot of the action that we're looking at is right there with the rookie Walterman, Nick Mills taking David Buell down low. But them tires, they're going to start getting angry. And so these 2 and 3 wides that we're seeing, that could result in some unwanted equations.
Yeah, we're at that point in the run, and that is what we're going to see, Mean Gene. I think we're going to start to see cars slide up. As you see right there, Walterman getting a little bit loose and kind of tapping the wall, able to keep his speed going. But Nick Mills, that's all he needed to get a run on him. He taps Walterman. They almost get together, and here goes Medina, the inside of Volpus. Oh, he touches Volpus! He touches Volpus. Volpus gets loose. Malarkey to the inside. He takes advantage of that. Owens is going to try to take advantage of this as well. But oh boy, that was a close one between Medina and Volpus. As you see the 17 getting on the wall right there in the exit of the corner. Good save by Volpus. I don't know what quite went wrong there, Mean Gene, whether it was the 9 or the 07, but a big moment. And I'm glad that Volpus was able to keep it together. But oh boy, that could have been bad.
My word, Joe Volpus. I was about to say Volpus can't be happy because he's being forced up on that top line, and that goes against the strategy that they had in that team meeting. Finally, the Volpus is able to get back down onto that preferred line for his team at the bottom. Mills running that outside. We'll see, touches the wall, but Volpus, little off the pace. You know his nerves have got to be rattling, and that heart has got to be beating.
And those tires have to be on fire, right? So not only does he have to go down to the bottom lane where they're going to get runs on or down the front and back stretch, but he has to take care of those tires and try to get the heat regulated in them. So Joe Volpus is dealing with a lot of things in that race car right now.
And now he's got David Buell behind him. He and Buell have a lot of time in the cars and track together. Maybe Buell will give him a break, give him a couple of laps to get the tire temperature back down. Up ahead, though, no time for anybody to take a break. As you can see, David Owens and Justin Malarkey side by side. After all of that, David Medina did take the lead, and he has got that gap behind Kelly to 3 seconds. A lot of time he's going to have to try to close up. One caution, though, and everybody's back together, and this is any man's race.
Yeah, Medina leading that pack, but yeah, still in second place, back 3 seconds to Jared Kelly. We will keep our eye on that differential at lap 83 right now, 3.15, I'm sorry. So we'll see in about 5-10 laps what that is, and if Medina is able to make any meaningful progress. He did have to use, I think, more tire. Oh my goodness, as the 73 and the 11 get together there on corner entry, me and Gene, that was a close one there. Malarkey also coming out of nowhere. Third place now, completing the pass on Owens. That 73 showing a lot of speed, and look who is behind the 11 of David Owens.
Oh, yeah, you can see these guys already starting to close that gap. Nick Mills, he's been charging, and he'd like to get back through there. Gonna wonder, though, when are they gonna start trucking back up the track? It's all gonna be about who can come in the cleanest and who can get that line that they want. Dirty air and side-by-side racing. is going to throw off all of these drivers' plans. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
Oh, yep, that's a famous saying, and it's not ever less true. And look at the air game the 20 is playing here, me and Gene. We talked a lot about dirty air, and this is what this is. Look at what the 20 is doing. This isn't blocking in terms of blocking the car and not wanting to be hit. It's dirty air blocking. He's just chucking dirty air at that car behind him, at Walterman behind him.
Almost like confused with the wall blocking you, the way it just tapped Vulpus right there. I think I saw the wall jump out and touch him.
Yeah, it does that here. But, man, I love what I'm watching that 20 do. He is mirror driving. He is looking at that mirror, and he's saying, wherever Walterman goes, that's the line I'm going to choose. See, look at that, Mean Gene. He is making life hell for the rookie of Walterman right there. And it's not fun, but it is the nicest way. What did I say there, Mean Gene? Sends Walterman into the wall, and it's not dirty. It's gamesmanship, and I respect it.
Well, you know, some wild animals are a little bit gamey, and you got to think that's what we just saw right there. Justin Malarkey up 20 spots running third. Nick Mills up 20 spots running fifth. Jose Medina up 19 spots running 11. So these guys definitely driving faster than they did in qualifying and in practice. You got to be happy to see these fellas making it happen. Meanwhile, Jason Landry, his lap times are now equal to the cars around him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could see Landry start making his way up through some of those cars in the back of the field.
I had that happen to me last week. You know, oh, man, okay. Look what's happening in front of Landry. Is that Vulpus on the outside? I don't think it is.
No, I think that's one of the 900 guys.
It's not, right? I apologize. It's not. Yep, it is the 601 of Sarah making his way, but here goes Lane to the inside, but he's the wall there. But yeah, last week, me and Gene, I was racing on Miami, and I got damage on turn 1, lap 1, and it did the same thing to me that's happened to Landry. I went to the back of the field, and I was just had my hands full. And because of how bad the car was driving, I was partial throttle around the track. But the run went long, so it went about 30, 40 laps, and I unintentionally, because of having an undrivable car, saved my stuff. So I was able to pass a bunch of cars. So I think that's what we're going to see with Landry right here. He, whether he wanted to or not, was saving because that car is not driving the way he wants it to.
Yeah, and he is definitely going to make his way. A little bit further up, though, these guys up in front still continuing to lay down laps. That lead of Jared Kelly, that 3-second lead we talked about earlier, it's 2.4 seconds. So Medina starting to cut off a little bit of time, but it's going to be close unless we see that caution come out. Behind him, Justin Malarkey having a hell of a good day. David Owens and Nick Mills continues his assault. Dylan Waterman, the rookie, still being shown in second.
Car around.
Ooh.
And caution is out. I believe that's the no number.
That's David Buell.
Buell with the blank number.
He tried to light a Marlboro.
He did. And Mean Gene also, we're talking about Jared Kelly and David Medina. Not like it's, I mean, this may matter if we stay green to end this race. That last lap, they put it under green. 32.5, Jared Kelly. 32.014.
But guess what? It's
sizable.
all out the window now.
It's all over
now.
now.
It's a caution. We're going to come in. We're going to do a little damage repair. You know, Landry's got to be thrilled. And, you know, Kelly has got to be distraught. So, once again, it's a case of the anti-hero here in Kansas.
I wonder how Kelly feels, honestly, because he was losing that lead, and he maybe thought, okay, I maybe didn't do the job I needed to, or maybe he had something, and he was watching that lead come down. And and I think also he was thinking, we have green flags pit stops coming up here. I don't want to do this. So
listen to the radio right now. We're listening in on Kelly's radio, and he is not pleased. They were coming up on green flag pit stops. His crew chief trying to keep him calm in the car, but right now you can hear Jared Kelly not happy with this turn of events.
Well, if there's one thing I could say to Kelly, it could be a lot worse, because if you had pit, you'd be a lap down, and your race would be over. So, frustrating nonetheless, because now the whole field's bunched back up. Medina does a great job of getting in and out of the pits. We know that, as long as he doesn't speed. But I get it, but it could be worse. Here we go, Mean Gene. I mean,
it could be worse, but now your 2.5 second lead on the assassin David Medina is 0.
Yeah, exactly. So that part sucks. I mean, there's no two ways about that. But a lot can happen after that pit stop. So that, like I said, that caution came at the wrong time. Look at Malarkey. Look at Malarkey. Gets Medina. Almost Kelly. Man, Malarkey. This guy has been hitting. Like, he's been sneaky good today, hasn't he? That's been very impressive from that 73. Getting it done in the pits. I think he got Medina. Oh, no, he didn't get Medina. Oh, no, did he speed? Okay, didn't speed. He didn't get... the pits are weird, Mean Gene. Sometimes it's like so obvious you got someone, but the way iRacing does it, they say you didn't. It's very weird. But Malarkey, I have my eye on that 73. He's looking good today. Medina, as always, going to be close to impossible to beat. He's going to be very, very difficult as long as he doesn't beat himself. But Jared Kelly, if there's anyone who can do it, he's shown the speed all day.
Yeah, Dustin Malarkey with a really good run, and then last year's winner David Owens is right there in it as well. Can't count him out. Joe Volpus also still running good. The only thing I saw go wrong for Joe was when he had contact with Medina, and he does not like running that outside. So if Volpus can hug that bottom again and ride this thing out, I think that could be a name we hear at the end. But right now, Kelly Medina. I mean, Medina, how did he make his way up through that traffic? Meanwhile, his buddy Landry barely coming out of the pits right now, being shown as the last car in the lead lap back in 24th.
One word, Mean Gene. Patience. Patience is why Dave Medina Sr. is in second place, and Landry has a beat-up race car in 24th.
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't have any patience.
Oh, God. Okay, I should have added a drinking rule for every amazing, for lack of a better word, amazing Mean Gene joke.
Dad jokes.
Yeah, I want your
Anytime
dad
the
jokes.
dad jokes come out, you got to get worried.
You do. You do.
It's the mustache. It's the mustache.
But yeah, you saw...
Lights are off. We're about to go green again, eh? Lap 94 right now. So this thing's starting to tick down. There is 37 laps left. You think they could make it?
I think so, Mean Gene. And this is, if they stay green, this is where we're going to see the tires really, really matter.
Ooh, bad start by that inside lane. They back up a little bit.
They just weren't even to begin with. Yeah, I'm not sure Medina was asleep as it lined up.
With a bad jump.
Everyone on the outside there with the mad jump. Look at that, Landry.
Ooh, contact. Mill. Oh.
Oh, gosh. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, you're right. Mills losing positions there. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. And here we go. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. Small in the wall. Owens hard. The 12 is in this as well. Oh, the 7 of Peltz is in this. Owens was airborne. The 5 of Smorl was almost into space. Mills is in this as well. I think you saw it, Mean Gene, developing, and that was ugly. What are you hearing on the radio?
I hear David Owens communicating his disdain for some of the awareness of drivers around him. He's saying we're wrecking and y'all are still going. That is David Owens sharing a piece of his mind right now.
Well, that's the guy who drove through me to win a championship in trucks. Just kidding, David. But look at the 20 mils. Go to the 20 mils real quick. Oh, no. And there goes my prediction, Mean Gene.
Oh, no, Nick. Such a good day.
Oh, and he tows it. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's still there. But that front fender isn't there. Ugh. Nick Mills. So I think that's where it started. And it just went from there. The 12 of Puckett in front of Mills, also collecting damage. Man, that was a big one. And that involved a lot of fast cars. We saw Smorl showing tons of speed today. He is getting a bunch of damage fixed, putting 4 tires on it. That rear bumper of Smorl is completely missing from the race car. It's probably somewhere in space based on how far up that car went. You see Brenner and Walterman as well coming in. That's weird. And there's Kyle. Were they in that, Mean Gene?
I think they were, when that restart occurred, that inside lane didn't go. We saw Pfeiffer spin and that inside lane locked up. I saw some contact. The 251 went right into the back of Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle hit a driver in front of him as well.
Kyle stopped for 5 seconds. Are these guys worried about fuel? I don't know what.
Yeah, a lot of guys not pitting. They're not worried about it, so they must think they got enough fuel.
I see Kyle's front of his race car, and I see a few scratches. So I think maybe Kyle. Yeah, you're right, Mean Gene. I think Kyle maybe brought it in, just to have his pit crew tell him, "You're good." And he was like, "Okay, cool." But that's worth the peace of mind, right? Kevin Kyle only going down to 17th there, finding himself behind Gerald Rose, who was able to avoid that incident. But that was a big one. The restart's very interesting through this one, Mean Gene. I think a lot of people getting greedy to start that one, and it just evolved from there and became a very big wreck. In terms of what Owens was complaining about, without me taking a shot at him because I can and I love David, but yeah, that sucks and that's frustrating. I hate when that happens. I hate it, Mean Gene. If there's a caution, you can't get decisions anymore. Hit the damn brakes. Stop trying to drive through race cars and ruin everyone else's day because you want to be a hero. You want to have a cool replay to show your friends or something. There's nothing to be gained besides destroying your own race car and others once the caution is out. Back it down, hit the brakes, stop the car if you have to. Like, your track position is protected. That's my Zach rant for the day.
I love it. All right, so it looks like David Brenner currently being shown as the last car in the lead lap, running 19th. So we've got 19 cars on the lead lap at the moment. I see Peltz bringing it around. Not sure if he's going to be a lucky dog or
Peltz will not be, Mean Gene. Peltz was in that wreck, so that would make him ineligible to be the lucky dog. Any damage or any involvement in a wreck will make you ineligible. Peltz, I think, likely just driving around after getting some damage. But here we go, Malarkey to the outside this time, Mean Gene. Malarkey, Kelly. What is with that outside line? Get closer to the 55. They're a full lane back, and there goes Kelly. Man, I don't know what's going on with the outside lane. That was bad. But, I mean, Kelly's loving it, right?
Yeah, no momentum. Joe Volpus ain't going to be happy. Second car on that outside lane. They finally do gear up. Volpus stuck on the outside. It's Medina. He's the one taking advantage of the inside. He's got Sam Milliken with him. Outside, though, you can see Kelly, Malarkey, Volpus, and then Medina side by side. Great start by Showboat, but now he's got the 73 of Malarkey has come into the picture, and Malarkey's got that Ford running on a rail. Look at Volpus and Medina trying to get around the 73.
Yeah, this is intense, Mean Gene. Medina trying to be patient the best he can. If you can, producer, go to our blimp view because you can see something that Medina is doing from the blimp view or the chopper view. So watch the 9 of Medina on the inside here. Watch how much he backs it up on entry, Mean Gene. You're going to see him really back it up more than you see how everyone shoots forward. Medina backs it up and watch him shoot through the corner. He's on the gas earlier than everyone else through the corner, and that's how he gets these runs out the corner, and that's the camera angle that showed me how Medina's doing this. He's backing up entry more than anyone else is and then driving through the corner with more throttle.
Well, he had plenty of laps of watching Joe Volpus and the Gulf Coast team do that. And Medina, if nothing else, he is a chameleon and he'll adapt to that winning strategy if he's not the one setting the pace. Right now, Jared Kelly still setting the pace. Even after that reset, Kelly able to pull away. The gap, not as big as it was, but after running that last lap time, 30.84, I think he could start to grow it again. Jared Kelly right now, Showboat leading the field.
Jared Kelly right now has to work that balance. He has to work that balance. I know you want a big lead if you're Kelly. You want that 1.5 second lead back, but also don't use up your stuff right now. If Medina is able to catch you, if Volpus is able to catch you, Malarkey, Milliken, Medina, the other Medina, Pfeiffer, Neal, any of these guys, if they can catch you later in this run and you've already used your stuff up, it won't matter how big that lead was. It will disappear like that, Mean Gene. So Kelly has to walk that tightrope right now. Has to make sure to protect those tires while maintaining a good sizable lead over Volpus to where he doesn't have to race Volpus and have some sacrificing of what lane he wants to choose.
Speaking of making it work, how about the 56 of Jason Landry? This guy has come in on 2 different yellow flags to get that car moving again and suddenly finds himself in 14th and he's moving forward. And if you're wondering about the tournament, his opponent is in 17th behind him. So Landry, look at that big move. He's going to take 2 guys down, shoots around like it's nothing. He passes Fox and Angle, and Landry now riding the rail, trying to get that Toyota back up into the top 10.
That's my Mean Gene money move of the race so far. That was sexy. He had them cleared by the time they got to turn 1.
Yeah, I think he's got that enough of that damage repaired that the Canadian can make it work for him and start to get his way back up there. Next on his list, Matt Schofield.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and like you said, I was going to mention that he is minimizing that damage in the in-season tournament. He's ahead of his opponent, Gerald Rose. Gerald Rose is much more focused on his own race right now, maintaining that 17th place, a great run for him. Can't be worried about the 56th of Landry, are you kidding me? So right now, Landry just doing an awesome job. I'm not sure if the win is in the cards anymore, but that 56 looks healthy, and I'm sure he's hungry. As cars hitting the wall in front of him, Landry also probably having flashbacks earlier in this race.
He doesn't need anybody to bounce off and get him as he's trying now to get by some more side-by-side cars. Really great race, and still got 19 cars here on the lead lap.
That 45 at Neal is all kinds of loose, and oh man, trouble in front of them. 7-3 Malarkey. 7-3 Malarkey with some trouble. I'm hearing damage still, Mean Gene. Malarkey with the 85 of Pfeiffer. Oh no, Walterman as well. Walterman involved, and Malarkey bringing it in. That car is destroyed, as is the 85 of Pfeiffer. Both of those guys' days over, and my heart breaks for the 73. That was such a good run from him. Not like this is an uncharacteristically good run for the 73. He's a great driver, but man, he had winning speed today. That is a heartbreaking one.
Yeah, not what we were hoping to see for the 73. Other cars making their way around. No caution. It was something to see him just keep on running.
Yeah, they kept it up against the wall, Mean Gene, and it was ugly, clearly. I think, unless we have a replay, I'm assuming they just got together and both just smacked it into the wall, probably mid-corner would be my guess. Man, that was enough to bend the totaling of the 73 of Malarkey. I would assume to get that car drivable will cost them several laps.
And then there were 17 cars on the lead lap. Dylan Waterman is being shown as 17th. He's still trying to make it around, trying to chase down Matthew Smith. But up front, hey, how about that lead? We talked about Kelly wanted to get it back. He's got it back to 7, almost a full second, as he's at 0.7. But here comes David Medina.
Yeah, Medina is who I'm keeping my eye on, man. Don't count out the 07 of Volpis either. He has showed strong speed and consistent speed all day today. And not just that, Mean Gene, understanding the lines are going to work with it later in the run, and he's never gotten greedy. So I'm not counting out the 07 of Volpis either, but oh man, that 9 of Medina breathing down your neck cannot be a fun experience. I'd almost be inclined, if I'm the 07 of Volpis, to just give it to Medina and let's not use up our tires, and I'll follow you up to Kelly, and then we'll figure it out amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we might see, but behind them, Sam Milliken might have his own idea. Great run by the rookie, Jose Medina, up 25 spots to 5th place. But guess who just showed up to the party? Jason Landry now has pushed his way into 6th spot, and he's trying to get by that 403 of Medina.
Yeah, Landry is so strong right now as it goes to the other Medina, Jose Medina. Also, shout out to that car of Jose Medina right there. He did not put down a good qualifying effort, bad to the point where I think he must have spun out or something. 7/10 off the pace in his qualifying effort, starting all the way back in the deep 20s. Has worked his way through the field patiently and now finds himself in the top 5. Well, as Jason Landry now takes 5th place for him. Jason Landry, what a stud.
Yep, and behind him, you got to also give a shout out. Stephen Neal up 19 spots and Zach Engel up 10. Those guys are running 8th and 9th right there ahead of Schofield. So we're seeing some guys really putting down some impressive laps here at Kansas. Kansas is just such a fun track, isn't it, Zach? You can really run this thing high or low. There's some great banking. And as long as you roll it in there, you can come out strong. And I think today we're seeing a lot of drivers just having a good time.
I mean, I'm never gonna pass up a chance to brag. This is where I got one of my first league wins, Mean Gene. I love this place. I love this track. It's so much fun to kind of gush. Before I gush about Kansas, look at Medina to the inside of Volpis. And like I assumed, Mean Gene, I don't think Volpis is super interested. Oh, maybe he is. He's gonna try the inside here. Will he try the slide job over
These
Medina?
guys got history, too. Remember, Medina came up into Volpis earlier in the race. So
Good point.
Maybe Joe could return the favor right here. Joe, not that kind of driver. Neither there's David, for that matter. But that I'm not going to let the truth get in the way of a good storyline.
Yeah, I agree. But Volpis also, big picture, right? Big picture. We got 20 to go, man. Let's go and catch that 55 of Kelly together. I will draft behind you if I can, because, gosh, that thing is a rocket ship. But I love this track, Mean Gene. What I love so much about Kansas, real quick, is it's like a better version of a track like Vegas. Vegas is too easy to where it takes too long to see tires matter. Drivers who aren't as polished have too easy of a time running up front, and that often creates insane wrecks. Kansas is not for the weak. It's kind of like Vegas if it was with a much added level of difficulty. There's a lot more off-road time, there's a lot more tire saving, and there's a lot more speed. So I love Kansas. To me, it's one of the best mile and a halves that are on the active NASCAR track. We also, in iRacing, we'll race places like Chicagoland, which reminded me a little bit of Kansas. But in terms of places NASCAR races, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, you're talking about drivers that can run up front. It could be worse. We could be at Daytona. Where are we at next week?
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Good times.
I can't wait. I mean, as a commentator, I can't freaking wait. Let's look at the 56 of Landry again. Looking at the 17 of Milliken. This will be for 4th place, me and Gene. I mean, with the speed that Landry's showing, a win, especially if we get a caution, is certainly not off the table right now.
No, he's in it. Isn't he? Look at him on that pass on Milliken.
And he's keeping that car healthy in terms of the tires, me and Gene, because what I'm noticing about the 56 as well, he can go anywhere he wants. He's making passes on the outside, he's making passes on the inside. Wherever the car that he's trying to pass is where you're going to find that 56.
Yeah, what a great move right there as he pushes himself up into 4th place. Next on his target, Joe Volpus.
And that's going to make it a 3.6 second lead to the actual leader for Landry. But like you said, setting his sights on Volpus, and that's only a second. Volpus is having a hard time sticking with the 9 of Medina, as Medina is definitely cutting into that lead of the 55 of Kelly. So I think we might have 2 separate battles as this goes on if we stay green, between the 55 and the 9 and the 07 and the 56. And if we don't stay green, means if we do get that caution, I would be very afraid of that 56.
Yeah, as we look back, there's a lot of single file, pretty much from the 5th all the way back. A few drivers are still making hay. Kevin Kyle is out there. He's in a battle with Matt Schofield. Stephen Neal currently trying to milk his car around back in 12th position. But other than that, we are seeing a lot of single file in the lap times. The data is showing us that these guys are just spreading out slowly. So the real question is, can Landry catch Volpus, and will Medina give Jared Kelly something to think about besides champagne?
Exactly, and only 17 cars on our lead lap, me and Gene. So I think that also could be splitting the separation we're starting to see in the field. Only a handful of really fast cars left without borderline race-ending damage right now. We have our eye on the 31 of Kelly right now. I'm sorry, of Kyle right now, doing a great job maintaining his track position. But a lot of cars too, by the gift of attrition, having all-time runs right now. I'm looking at the 251 of Rose in 13th place. I mean, like I've said today, he's had a lot of speed compared to other races this season, but nonetheless, 13th place just by keeping that car clean as well. Same with in front of him, you have Neal.
Oh, he looks like he's putting a move on Neal there. He might get by him.
Look at Rose today. I love seeing this from our rookies, mean team. Today has been the race of the rookies between Walterman just putting on a show and doing a great job. Unfortunately, getting caught up in that last wreck, but still in 16th, doing an awesome job. I'm excited for Walterman. Hope we can see more of him.
Go to the front. Go to the front. Look at that.
Oh, no.
It's happening. It's happening.
How did that disappear? There was a 1.8 second lead about 3 laps ago, and it's gone. Here we go. Medina and Kelly for the lead. 12 to go. Medina has just done a great job since that early mistake, and that's being building. He's been patient, and he's worked his way through the field, and here he goes. A chance to win this race right behind Kelly with only 11 to go this time around.
I tell you what, this guy has led all day long, and now we've got a few laps left, 10 laps left, and Medina is suddenly showing up center stage. That's not what you need. Keep that spotlight on Showboat. But Medina says, no, it's my time to play.
And we talked about this earlier, Gene. If you're Jared Kelly, this is the bad part of dominating right now. What do? He hasn't had to do this yet today. He hasn't had to be this deep in a run and defend this lead. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know where to defend. as much as I think other guys in the field do. And here we go. What a massive run by Medina on the exit of that corner. Will he? No, he's going to follow him through, and I think this will be another big run. I think it's going to be one more setup here for Medina. This is sooner rather than later, Mean Gene.
Oh, I think this might turn into a look what you made me do circumstance.
Watch the run out of 3 and 4 here by the 9. Here we go. He's going to try to get a little bit of clean air on the inside of that car, and that's a brilliant move by the 9. He's going to get side by side with Kelly. They touch.
Touches him.
They are they are so close. I'm hearing
Medina's like, look what you made me do.
And Medina to the lead. Oh, man. Textbook, picture perfect. Medina takes the lead from Jared Kelly.
And that is a move that we all know too well.
That's a situation we all know too well.
Yeah, all too well.
The final boss. Final bosses. Well,
my word. And look at the speed.
You know what sucks about that too, Mean Gene? It's not like he's going to make a mistake. I've been there so many times, Jared.
Meanwhile, looks like Landry has caught Vulpes, and he's brought Jose Medina with him. Medina underneath Landry, and Vulpes trying to hold on. Looks like Vulpes has given up on that outside lane. He's starting to run the high side just like everybody else. And it's Landry going down low.
Yeah, Landry going wherever the clean air is, collecting that draft where he can find it, trying to full. Yep, and there goes Vulpes into the wall. That was all mind games by the 56. Great job by Vulpes to really touch that wall a little bit, but not panic and maintain his speed. Great job by him. But oh my gosh, I'd be remiss not to mention that 403 of Jose Medina. What a good job by Medina. He's looking at a top 5 right now, and he's again started in the deep 20s today. He's been patient. He's been so quick. Jose Medina hoping to follow Landry through here and correct the 4th place, but Joseph Vulpes will not be an easy pass, and Landry needs to make quick work of this if he wants to have any hope, which 3 seconds over to Kelly. It's going to be real tough in 6 laps, but we saw what Medina was able to do. And there goes there goes Landry. 3rd place for Landry over Vulpes, and it looks like Jose Medina. That opens up the door for Medina. Medina to the inside of Vulpes as well. He might try to get 2-4 special, but I think his priority right now should be get in front of that 07 on corner exit. Wow, look at how well Medina is able to route the bottom of that corner, but look at the exit speed by the 07 of Vulpes, and that cost him.
Yeah, not done yet. Joe's not done yet, but you can tell those tires have definitely taken a beating, as well as the car of the 07 as he's hit the wall just a few times. Medina's still trying to make that inside work, but here late in the run, it's basically how much tire do you have left, and you got to risk it. You got to start going high, trying to hold that momentum. Slide jobs
Vulpes in
off
the wall.
the table.
Vulpes hits the wall on the exit of 4, Mean Gene.
And that'll do
all
it.
Jose needed. Yup, that's the only entry invitation that Jose Medina needed. 4th place, Jose Medina, masterful drive by the 403. Hats off.
A little bit of a gap after Vulpes to Sam Milliken, and then you can see Schofield, Kyle, Angle, and rookie Michael Serra all bunched up. Those 4 guys. We'll see if anything comes out of that, especially Kevin Kyle trying to chase down Schofield. So those 2 guys might still have a little bit to talk about. We've only got 3 laps left. David Medina has pushed his lead now to 1.6 seconds. He must have a turbo in there.
Something illegal, right? David Medina, this guy is unfair. He is so good. The leader of Focum Racing, one of our sponsors. Shout out to them. But David Medina, he is just the class of the field week after week, especially when we're turning left. This guy is amazing. He could not be deterred today. 2 to go this time around for Medina. Jared Kelly, I know this one has to sting for him. I know that must sting so bad. You led so many laps. You felt like you had this one in the bag. You saw the speeding penalty. It felt so good. And then just for that to happen at the end. But that's a good points day for Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly is going to go into the playoffs with a good situation. Although it does reset, he's showing the speed that he needs to win this championship, have a chance at the championship as we go to a Final 4. But doesn't really help as the white flag this time around for the 9 of David Medina. And David Medina, this guy is special, Mean Gene.
Yeah, just a heck of a day. Amazing to watch this guy bring it around. last week, third place on a road course. This week, 1 mile intermediate asphalt tri-oval, and he is just laying it down. He's got this final lap, and then he could be your Kansas champion.
David Medina brings around turn 4 for the last time, and the final boss gets it done in Kansas. David Medina wins at Kansas. What a great job. What great damage recovery from that speeding penalty. Jared Kelly will claim second place. A great job. Hats off, Jared Kelly. Amazing job. I know second place 2 weeks in a row was never fun. I can vouch. I finished second place 3 weeks in a row in MRL. So I know what that feels like, Kelly. If you do that time and time again, you will win races. Great job by him. Landry brings it home third. Talk about damage recovery. Awesome job by Jason Landry. Fourth place. We've already said enough about this guy and how impressive it's been. The other Medina, Jose Medina. Awesome, awesome job. And Joseph Volpes, strong all day, rounds out our top 5.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was ready to give Ricky Mandela Senior Rookie of the Year early on in the season, but watching the performances of Jose Medina, it makes me wonder what that rookie's got in store. And then 10th place by Michael Cera. So new blood coming in. Dylan Walterman also having a heck of a great day until that accident, ends up finishing 16th. What other rookie? Gerald Rose, 12th. That's his best finish of the year. So rookies trying to make an appearance, and you got to be happy about that. But these veterans, David Medina, again, just strikes. I didn't think lightning struck twice in the same spot.
Oh, it will if David Medina's around. David Medina is just incredible as we watch him do his burnouts, which he's, I mean, look at this, Gene. He's so good at them. I wonder why. But let's shout out, like you just said. I'm going to shout out a handful of drivers here. We've already gotten to Medina, or Jose Medina. Shout out to him. Seb Milliken up there all day today. Matt Schofield, amazing run from a rookie. He did a great job today. Could bring it home in 7th. Kevin Kyle, strong all day. Zach Engel, like I said, fan of his. That's why. Michael Cera, we saw him running in the deep 20s early in this race. He brings it home in the top 10 in his rookie in his debut. That's great.
How about Tommy Fox in 11th after he got pile driven early in the race, lap 23, comes back and pilots that thing to an 11th.
Hey, Gene, who do you think for my in-season tournament, who do you think my pick was after Zach Engel?
Who's that?
Tommy Fox.
Tommy is a strong pick at 11th, but guess what? He was matched up with Joe Volpes.
Yep. Oh, well.
How about this? Gerald Rose finishes 12th, but guess what? He was matched up with Jason Landry.
Well, don't worry, Tommy, because you have me in your other league as for your in-season tournament. But Tommy Fox,
well, hey, you know you made that comment earlier about what you would want to ask. Guess what? I got a present for you.
Oh, do you? We got Medina here?
I do. I do. We might have somebody here for you. Might have David Medina even.
We just might. David Medina Sr., we got you here?
You got me.
Oh, man, that was fun to watch, David. You are, I mean, I'm sure you watch. You are the final boss, my friend. You are insane. So take me through your day today. Take me through your mentality after that speeding penalty. And I used one word to describe why you were in the position to win that race and Landry wasn't. And the word was patience. So tell me if you'd agree with that or if you just thought it was the wrong place, wrong time thing for Landry. And yeah, tell me about your day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy day for sure. You know, from the running in third to having to go all the way to the back for the speeding penalty, just a mistake on my end. Just trying to get a good jump out and had to go to the back and really thought that was going to be pretty much the end. We knew we had to be patient to try and get the car somewhat towards the front, but some of the cautions just kind of fell my way, allowed me to get some fresh tires back on there and keep working through lap traffic. But I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to catch Jared. I think he had a little over a second lead on me after that last caution, and just been able to take care of the tires. I wasn't focused on overdriving the car. I was just, like you said, being patient, let my tires do what they know how to do, and hope I could, be there at the end with them. But unfortunately for Jason, we were both trying to, work through the field and stuff, and I was just trying to wait for gaps to open, whether he opened them or somebody else did, and then try to make moves in those areas. But just happened to work out for us.
Called it, me and Gene. That's what I said. But okay, I have I have a lot of questions for you, David. But next thing, I love to do this. I think it goes without saying you were one of the best in the world. So I always love to ask questions that impart wisdom on those who are watching so they can kind of get in the mind of a David Medina and apply those things to when they're racing next and learn from the best. So, what I want to know from you today is line selection. I saw a lot of lower line from you, being very committed to that, doing a great job of backing up your corners to make sure you can maintain momentum while using the bottom to not just get eaten up on the top. And I think you were probably among the best, or not probably, absolutely among the best who did that. So can you take me through the way you approach lines at a track like Kansas, why you would use the bottom, when the time is to use the top, and I guess kind of that discipline that you have to uh, put through throughout the race, throughout the runs, to have that tire at the end to do what you did to Kelly. Take me through how you approach that as a racer to impart some wisdom on those watching that want to be a David Medina one day.
Yeah, sure. So really, it comes down to information you get, when you're practicing, right? Monitoring your track times and track temperature or tire temperatures, things of that nature, and then kind of changing it up. Run the top, like for Kansas, run the top to full stint and see what that looks like, and then run the bottom full stint, see what that looks like, and then do a combination of it. Maybe run the bottom in 1 and 2, and then run the top 3 and 4, and then switch it up. And that's kind of what I did for practice, for data collection, and for me, just felt that my tire balance was better when I ran, top in 1 and 2 when I could, and bottom 3 and 4 when I could. So that was my mentality, was going into the race, was I was going to try and run high in 1 and 2, low in 3 and 4, and then the other thing is just knowing that you're going to get into dirty air, and how the best to set up your car to handle that dirty air. Just kind of entry point. Where I wanted to point my car compared to the cars in front of me, and still be able to get the rotation.
Love it. And thank you for sharing that. A lot of people are reserved to share their wisdom and what makes them so special. One more question to follow up on that. So once you save what you need to in the bottom, let's say you're 30 laps into a run, did you prefer the top or the bottom once, I guess you could say, like, you could tell other people around you had worn their stuff?
Yeah, there is a point in the run there. Especially guys that are dedicated to running the top most of the race. I knew I would have a little bit better tires running the bottom on 3 and 4. That if I needed to go back down there, I could, and that's why I did it. But yeah, there's that window that you kind of expect tires to fall off if they are going to fall off. And when that window opened up, that's when I knew I took care of my stuff good enough.
Awesome. I mean, masterful, David. I mean, I can tell you from in the booth and someone who is competitive in other leagues, I love watching you. I learn so much every time I watch you. So it's always a pleasure to watch you do your thing, and especially as clean as it is. I know you had a couple incidents today, but I mean, they were all so close. I think I'd call every single contact that you made today a racing incident. So great job, dude. You are the final boss. I cannot say it enough. You are a blast to watch week after week. It was fun to watch you today, working through the field and doing it so patiently and masterfully. Anyone you want to give a shout out to today? And please tell us a little bit more about Focum Racing, a sponsor of ours. And I know more than just the race team, the team that's been around for a long time and does a lot. So talk a little bit about them and anyone else you want to shout out. And thank you again, David.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short, but just really love this league. This is one of the leagues I kind of grew up in racing in. Um, I've learned so much from racing with these guys, and that's kind of how Team Focum really came about. There's a group of us, Chris Morrill, Brandon Shelton, at the time with Son Cheeseman, Justin Gann, but there was just a group of us that raced together, and one season we decided to start a team, and uh, came up with Focum, and just been able to be a part of that team and grow with them. And so everything that I've learned, racing and getting around these tracks and stuff is really due to those group of guys and people in this league. Racing around them and stuff, you kind of get to learn, some of the things. I followed so many people and got to learn a lot, of what they're doing and what I was doing wrong. And then there's people outside of this league that I've learned from. Kim Campbell is one, but that list just goes on and on. So definitely appreciate all the people that have share their knowledge with me, and I try to do the same and pass whatever I've learned on with the guys that that ask or are looking to get better and come to me. So it's just that great community thing we have. So want to give a shout out to my teammates over at Team Focum. Want to give a shout out to just the Bonfire Racing League. They do a phenomenal job and has done a great job building this league up. And then all the drivers, just a lot of joy in racing with these guys. And then I got to give an apology out to Joseph for that contact with him. Apparently, I turned in late and I didn't realize I was squeezing him. And so that was some, even after the experience I do have, still making mistakes like that. So that was on me. And so I apologize to him. I reached out to him as well. But yeah, looking forward to this race, and I had struggled last year at this track, so it was a little bit make up for me. And then racing Jared, I told my teammates, catching him is going to be one thing, passing him was going to be another, and we just had enough tires to do so. So appreciate Jared racing clean, fast driver, and always a challenge. So, and then you guys up in the booth, appreciate what you guys do. You guys do a phenomenal job, putting this on.
Thank you so much, David, and you're a class act for that apology. I can tell you from our end, it looked like a racing incident. I could understand the turning in late thing, but a squeeze is a squeeze, and sometimes that's what happens. And also, you're awesome for being willing to coach and help out these drivers. I talked about that during this broadcast today. Guys like Owens have also done that, and yeah, it's a lot more fun when we have a lot of competitive drivers out here, right? So that's awesome to see, and you are a great example of top guy in a league like this. So awesome job today, David. It's always a pleasure getting to talk to you.
I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. You got me, David?
I got you.
Chiefs, Eagles. Who's going to win?
Yeah, how did I forget that?
I've gotten that question a lot of times, and I'm a Cowboys fan, as bad as it is probably to say that. So
oh, you're from Dallas, so how you feel about Luke? That whole city needs
Go easy. Go easy.
Oh,
Go
I
easy.
know.
You want go easy. Go easy.
I hope you're not an NBA fan too, my friend.
but it's hard for me to root for the Eagles. I'd love to see history be made with Kansas City pulling off a three-peat. But I'm really expecting a really good game, so I'd be excited to see either team win. But I have to pull for the Chiefs.
Good answer. Thank you.
I just hope Taylor Swift's throwing arm is okay.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's gonna be a fun one today, and yeah, I already see the people filing out of this of these stands, Gene, making their way, whether it be, oh, actually they're in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, I believe, so making their way to their homes to get even drunker and watch the Super Bowl and watch their Chiefs play. But great race today, and yeah, thank you again, David. You're a badass, and it's a pleasure watching you. And thank you for being willing to impart that wisdom when I pick your brain a little bit. And I can't wait for next week, man. Great job.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Mean Gene. So now let's take a look at.
He didn't reveal the strategy though.
Well, I'll tell you.
No. He said he was a Chiefs fan. But he didn't say the long con, because I'm going to reveal this right now for our viewers at home.
Do it.
Okay? It's the long con. Taylor Swift is the girlfriend of Kelsey, and she has supported him, and she's baked him brownies and done all the things that a good girlfriend does. And here we are. They're in the Super Bowl for the three-peat, ready to go. But you and I talked about it, Zach. Where is she from?
Yeah. She may or may not be from where the Eagles are from.
She is from Pennsylvania. And there's photos of her in an Eagles jersey. So I think right before kickoff, right after the coin toss, but right before the kickoff, she's going to tell Travis, I don't love you. In fact, I don't love you. And here's 9 songs, and I'm starting a new album, and it's called 86, 87. And she's going to release it. And then Kelsey's going to have that on his mind the whole game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see Taylor Swift in an Eagles jersey versus referees in a Chiefs jersey. Who wins?
Oh, I'm so excited. And I have a dad joke too. That's going to really hurts for Kelsey.
Oh,
I'm proud of that.
Oh, there'll be bad blood.
I'm proud of that. Oh, damn it. There will be bad blood. You're right. And they're going to never, ever get back together. Our producer's like, shut the hell up.
Hey, go back and look. I dropped 10 songs of Taylor Swift into that old broadcast.
Okay, I should have made that one of the drinking rules.
I'm a horrible person.
Anytime.
Yeah, we have that 1%, Jared. I'm gonna get it.
We can pull the curtain. We'll pull the curtain back real quick. We have a 1% female viewership, so we're just really 0%, zero. We're just really catering to that 0%. It could be 0.5, guys. Is it? Or it's just straight zero. It's just my producer told me right now. It's just a straight zero.
Well,
So,
y'all tell you
ladies,
what,
me and Gina,
that might be 0, but we got an 8. We got 8 up here. Look at this.
yeah,
Look
we
at
do.
that.
Back to racing. Back to racing. But
Back on the tape.
okay, so let's look at our in-season tournament. Moving on, David Medina Sr. and Milliken. Milliken with a great run today, bringing in 6th place. So he moves on, beats Pierre's. Pierre's had speed today, but early incidents really hurting him and costing him some drive position that he was not able to recover from. And then moving on from that, we have our second bracket, and that is Kevin Kyle versus Matt Schofield. Kevin Kyle able to beat Owens today. That was very even. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Where did Owens finish? Laps down. So Owens, collected in that incident.
He was in that wreck at the end, remember?
And Kevin Kyle had the speed to beat him regardless, but Owens nonetheless couldn't do anything about it. So Kevin Kyle, our admin, moves on along with the rookie Matt Schofield. So awesome job by Schofield, able to beat looks like Brenton there. So great job by Schofield. Moving on to the next one, we have Brenner versus Landry. Oh, I have my money on Gerald Rose, but just by the grace of God,
Landry got. There must have been something in a can that just sprayed, and the molecules repaired themselves on Landry's car.
Oh, for sure, because just by raw speed, Gerald Rose had him covered. Then we look at Kyle Lynott and Brenner. Lynott also had tons of speed, but was in one of their very early incidents. Brenner able to keep it clean, bringing it home today in 14th place, and that was enough to move on as Lynott all the way back in 29th lap, 103 laps down, called it a day early in that race. And then our last bracket, Jared Kelly, no surprise, moves on, beating Edward Peltz with that 2nd place finish, and Volpus moving on to beat Tommy Fox. Tommy Fox, while he did have a good finish, not good enough to beat the 07 of Volpus. And now we look at this round of 8 drivers, Mean Gene. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, and let's make it even more fun. Where are they going to be?
Oh God. Daytona, where anything can happen.
It's not like a road course and you watch Landry and Kelly destroy the field. This is Daytona, where everybody named Tom, Dick, and Harry are going to think, oh, it's my time to win. Yep. It's my time to shine.
If there's ever been a place where Sam Milliken could beat a David Medina, if a if a Brenner could beat a Jason Landry,
Schofield could beat a Kyle. All of them. No one is safe. No one is safe.
All bets are off next week at Daytona for this. That will definitely be the most unpredictable phase of this in-season tournament, as we'll then cut it down to just 4 drivers. Gotta love it, Mean Gene. Do we have our standings available to us?
And the real question is, are you ready for it?
Oh, I am ready for Daytona. I'm ready for every aspect of Daytona next week. I cannot wait. And here is our points on screen here, courtesy of our producer. Thank you very much. David Medina inherits the points lead there. Now with Jared Kelly in 2nd place, Brenner 3rd, Landry 4th, and Owens 5th. No big surprises there, and I don't want to say this is a surprise, but Brenner isn't someone that we've seen necessarily competing for wins week in and week out, but it has not mattered because his finishes have been enough, and he's been brilliant to just run there when it matters. And now look at that, 3rd place in our standings.
Yeah, he is looking strong. Jason Landry continues up there. David Owens, Joe Volpus, Kyle Smorl, Tommy Fox, top 10. Let's go. Rookie Mandela in 10th, David Buell, and Nick Mills rounding out the top 12. Those would be your playoff drivers. But he's only got that one lead over Peltz and Schofield.
And shout out Peltz, too. Shout out to Peltz. He's doing a great job. Edward Peltz, I think when he was in like 20th or 17th early this year, it's like, I'm just happy to see my name up there. Look at you, Edward. You're in 13th, doing a great job, keeping that car clean, that number 7 car, always finishing races, running all the laps. And then our second rookie will pop up there in 14th with Schofield. Then we have Malarkey. Oh, boy, that is not a car that should be in 15th.
And then Milliken. I think that top 16 is really what we're looking at the moment at this stage of the game. The top 12 get into the playoffs, but I think those top 16 drivers are the guys that we should be looking at as far as who still could sneak in. Bear in mind, a victory at Daytona could change anything for a lot of these guys, but that top 16, because we're used to seeing Malarkey and Milliken running up front, and then strong runs, like you said, by Schofield and Peltz all year long.
Yeah, absolutely. And while there is no winning you're in this league, a win comes with a boatload of points, boatload of bonus points, and obviously a lot of points for being the first car. So that could definitely change the fortune for a Milken, a Malarkey, even a Puckett, a Schofield, especially next week, me and Gene. Another guy I have my eye on, 25th, I believe that is there, Jose Medina. He is +6 today, and the reason why you're seeing him so low, he came this league late, me and Gene. So Jose Medina, about 105 points, about 40, 50 points outside of a playoff position, still possible. And again, with a win, as we go further down our field, seeing a lot of our guys who are part-time right now, if we're being honest, and that's what's going to make it very difficult to make a non-win you're in playoffs. As we should have mentioned this today, me and Gene, and I'll mention it now. We are more than halfway through, as of now, of our regular season. We only have 4 more of these things, and then we are deciding our playoff field. So it's winning time now for these guys who find themselves, I think, 25th on. You got to show up every week, and you got to do everything you can to get a position in those playoffs. But it's anything but said and done right now.
Yeah, especially looking at that bottom, 12 people going to get in, 16 of them definitely on our radar, and then a few other guys that could catch up. You're right about Medina. He's only got 3 starts in 6 races. If you just double his numbers, he'd actually be 7th in the points.
Yeah,
there between Kevin Kyle and Joe Volpes. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. He started late. That happened to him last year over in our sister series, the MRL. This year, Medina running a full season and is a top 10 driver. But as we move forward into Daytona, anything is on the table. Nothing is safe. Your tournament position or here in the top 12 to get into the playoffs, unless, of course, your name is David, whether it be David Medina, David Owens, David Brenner, these guys, David Buell. We got 4 Davids in the top 12.
This is a good league to have the first name David. I think just by that, you are just by default going to be a top driver. So you're 100% right about that, me and Gene. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting 4 races to round out this regular season before we go in the playoffs. And it really becomes the nitty gritty where these guys have to execute week in, week out, and there's no more taking off races. You can't do that in the playoffs, so you're out of here. So I'm excited for these next 4 races. I think it's going to be a great time. And like you said, our sister series is giving us great previews every week. If you care to catch me and Gene, we'll be live on the MRL Broadcast Network tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, I'm from California, so that's what I say, so 10 p.m. Eastern. For some late night racing, and we'll be at Bristol tomorrow. So come enjoy that mayhem, and me and Gene probably telling lots of jokes with the many cautions we're gonna get and making fun of drivers. So it'll be fun. I can't wait. Never. But this was a great one, me and Gene. I'm so happy we got to do this one on Super Bowl Sunday. Again, love when this league races, so we can come in here, have some great racing, get our juices flowing before the Super Bowl on a Sunday, and it's been a great time here at Kansas. I love this track. I touched about it a little bit today, and it delivered, especially with today. We saw early in the season a huge field at Vegas with the stage green, and while that's impressive, I love these ones that are unpredictable because of the cautions. We have comers and goers, top guys. Running into issues is a lot of fun, so I had a great time today, me and Gene. This league just keeps delivering, and we're seeing some of the best in the world do their thing week in, week out, and the cream is really rising to the top. So this has been a great experience. Can't thank PRL enough, and I want to shout out our sponsors one more time. Animal House Customs and the amazing work they do in making this possible to have me and Gene and our producer Kelly here every week to give you guys the best production we can possibly give you. And very, very proud of what this has become and being able to be a part of this. Any final thoughts before we get out of here today in Kansas, me and Gene?
Man, I just want to thank the viewers at home for making this thing possible. Guys, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like, follow us when you get the chance. Right now, we're live on the Bonfire Race League, bringing you all this action. We still got 4 more races, and then we head into our playoffs. You definitely want to be a part of that. Thanks to the drivers for just putting on the amazing show. No crazy driving out there, just race incidents. And once those tires got worn, I think we saw some really insane results. Can't wait till next week at Daytona. That thing is wide open, and I think we're going to be talking about some people we haven't said yet.
I do too, me and Gene. It's going to be Daytona. All bets are off. Anybody can win. It's going to be a fun one. I mean, it's always a crazy experience. And one more thing I want to shout out to last year, so less than a calendar year ago, less than 6 months ago, me and Gene, less than Yeah, about 6 months ago. We came to this track in this league, and we did 17 drivers. Now here we are with 30 plus. That is so freaking cool. And we're doing it week in and week out. And we're going to do it again in Daytona. I can promise you that, because everyone wants a shot at Daytona, because anybody can win. So I cannot wait for a full field next week at Daytona. It's going to be a great time. And man, the Bonfire Race League Premier Cup Series continues to deliver. We could not thank you all enough for joining us. Shout out to Animal House Customs, shout out to Pokem Racing, KK Woodscapes, all the companies who make this league possible, and all the amazing drivers who continue to wake up early, whether it be the East Coast or the West Coast, and build this field and make these races what they are. We could not thank you all enough. From Mean Gene and Zach Panzarella, we will see you next Sunday at the world capital of NASCAR racing, the high banks, the craziness, and the most important track, the iconic Daytona Racing, or Daytona Motor Speedway. We cannot wait, guys. We'll see you next Sunday.